found that communities in Malawi face challenges due to the impacts of climate change on agriculture. Most farmers harvest little due to harsh effects of climate change, coupled with continued practice of conventional methods of farming. As a result, most families remain in a cycle of poverty and food insecurity. The impacts of climate change are manifesting themselves in various ways, such as bringing about intense or less rainfall, floods and prolonged dry spells, and changing of rainfall patterns. Smallholder farmers, who produce more than half of the world's food supply, are the most affected by the climate change. In the remote areas, growers speak of tough times and a bleak future as far as their livelihoods are concerned. Halis Banda, a farmer at Chipamba village in Dedza, says his area has been hit by acute hunger in the last 3 years. However, since Banda started practicing conservation agriculture, hunger is becoming history in his household. He urges fellow farmers to practice conservation agriculture to maximize crop production and avert the effects of climate change that are aggravated by poor environmental management.
Uthandiza kwambiri kuno kumudzi kwa Malawi ali makola zochepa tambokola zochepa kwaja tidabweza mizere mipara ya 75 cm zinezo bangisaso kuti toyamba tajulitsa kale zokolola tabzala mipara ya 30 cm yomwe chimanga chimodzi imenso chimabala mwathanzi mokula bwino ali alipasa maphunziro apamwamba komanso amalipatsa koyambira ngati mbewu zamagulu pangapo za nyemba soya komanso chimanga zimene zoti mulima kakolola chaka choyamba chaka chotsatirachi amathawa patsa mulimi mzake cholinga choti alimi ambiri dera lino lakumudzi titho pindula anthu ambiri.
Kaleli pa mala onekala ngati vule bwera bwino ukathira fetereza bwino ndi manyowa ako makolola mwina kuti utongole chimanga chija marumba 45 apo yaisale kapena 35 koma panopa sakwana nkomwe mwina 2018 ndiye panopa zinthu zidatani zidavutatu.
Another farmer, Daise Kapindu from Traditional Authority Mwansambo in Kota, concurs with Banda, noting that the time is indeed changing and that they too need to change their agricultural practices.
Manyowa amene timathira bogashi ubwino wake umene tikathira munda umasunga chinyezi komanso ndi amphamvu kwambiri upambana manyowa onse. Panopa nikale mmene timakololera panopa nasitasinthika timakolola mwina madengo 80 koma chaka chino chitikolola marumba 70 pa Malawi anekala chifukwa chokuti tidagwiritsira ntchito manyowa.
On the other hand, non-state actors in the agriculture sector have asked government to increase funding towards implementation of climate-smart agriculture (CSA) projects if Malawi is to become food secure and win the battle against climate change. CSA is an approach that helps to guide actions needed to transform and reorient agriculture systems to effectively support development and ensure food security in a changing climate. Civil Society Agriculture Network SisterNet National Director Pamela Kuali says there is a need for Malawi to be serious in implementing policies that would improve agriculture productivity.
For a number of years now, we have had challenges in terms of food production. Malawi is not able to produce adequate food to feed its population. And if something is not done about this, thinking about 30 years, 40 years from now, we can have huge problems. So we need to start thinking now that what is it that we must start doing to ensure that our policies are going to help us to have a food secure future.
Investigations revealed that farmers are slowly embracing smart agriculture in districts where the practice has been introduced, but they ask for more awareness. Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources Vice Chancellor Professor George Kanyamapili echoes with farmers' concerns, adding it would be more effective if researchers actively involve farmers on the ground.
The effects of climate change on agriculture have been very negative in the sense that because of erratic rainfall, because of diseases that come as a result of climate change, the farmers are not producing much, are not able to realize much. So again, we have used the farmers to impart them with the adaptation strategies, coping strategies on how to mitigate the effects of climate change. And indeed, we have done this through provision of early maturing varieties, through use of drought-resistant varieties, and also those that are relatively resistant to pests and diseases.
Pili observes that the shortage of extension workers in rural areas is affecting efforts to sensitize farmers to embrace smart climate agriculture technologies. Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development Chief Director Yanila Ntupanyama admits that there is a slow uptake of CSA among farmers.
You know that in the past 3 years, we've been having problems in terms of agriculture production just because of dry spells. The rain forecast, although it was given to us, but it was unpredictable in most of the ways. The southern region was dry, the central region, some parts was dry. The northern region, though they had rainfall, we ended up having floods. So we're trying to come up with like kind of predictions that would assist us in how we can address the issues. If we have lots of floods, what kind of climate smart agriculture can you bring to that community, that area, so that they are able to avert climate change and produce more?
Following the challenges that Malawi and other African countries are facing, Food, Agriculture and Natural Resources Policy Analysis Network, FANPAN, launched a 7.7 billion research program focusing on improving evidence-based policy making to develop sustainable and productive agriculture systems that are resilient to climate change. According to the experts, the program is likely to avert food crisis in some of these countries. Mohan Mochivo is the Chief Executive Officer for FANPAN.
Stakeholders have also been sensitized about the likely impacts of climate change and the need for us to think about the policy interventions at national level that need to accompany efforts of all stakeholders in order to mitigate and also to take advantage of the opportunities that are being presented by climate change. Climate change does not only bring negative impacts. In some areas you'll have more rain, for example, but in other areas you have less rain, you'll have a greater outbreak of disease and pests, but those need to be programmed for and planned for.
As the world tries to adapt increasingly unpredictable weather patterns, joining forces will indeed be key to help Malawi better prepare for the worst to come.